Massive hello, everybody, and welcome to the channel. In this episode, I've got a great treat for us all. We're bringing Corey back from Cooper's Amputee Lifestyle, and he's going to tell us all about what it's like to be an amputee diver. And he's going to give everybody his top tips on what you have to do and how he gets on. So, without further ado, here we go, Corey.
Hey Lee, how's it going, everybody?
Always a
Thanks
pleasure,
for having
mate.
me on again.
Always a pleasure. Thanks for coming. Let's just
It's been a while
get
since we
things
did a
started.
live stream. We've been a little busy um, doing these live streams, and now here we are, bouncing right back into them. So how you been? How you been, Lee? Tell me, what have you been up to lately since we did our last live stream? We'll update all the viewers what we've been up to, real quick.
Oh, mate, you know what? The weather's been so bad. I haven't really done much because of the
Yeah,
weather. For diving, mate, it's been. I've been out a few times, but nothing major. I filmed a video for Orca Torch, which I've got to put out. And other than that, just a few lessons I was on with
nice,
students, mate.
nice. I haven't been doing too much diving like since we talked. I've been picking up some trash. I had some SAR training. We do our monthly SAR training, kind of up in our skills every once a month. Oh no, we did pull a vehicle out of the water. I know the sheriff's office called my team asking for us to go pull or to go. Well, they say, hey, we got reports of a vehicle in the water. Somebody saw it with the lights on in the water, and then they saw the I think a little bit of the car was visible before it went under. And I was like, okay, cool, and I mean, a lot of people are at work, but that sheriff's office had another emergency going on. So they ended up telling our sheriff's office over here that, hey, you guys need to come over into our county and take over, play incident command. So then all of a sudden they're calling me back saying, hey, can you make this happen? Like, we have to go over there and take over. And I'm like, well, there's only two of us, but sure, let's just do it. If you're going to be there, we had a lot of support. We went, the guy, one of the volunteer firefighters was like, there was a trunk visible right here before it went down. And we're like, okay, so we didn't really know where it went or how it shifted because of the current. So I literally just rescanned it, found the vehicle upside down, a really spotty image between some big logs. We saw a little bit of oil coming up. The other diver who dives for the Navy as well, really experienced diver, I said, hey, have you ever dove in a car before? He's like, no. I said, hey, today's your lucky day, unless you don't want to. He goes, no, I want to do it. I said, all right, cool. I'll be your boat operator. I'll be your chase boat, and we're both suited up, but my gear was on the shore, and then he had his gear. He's on the front of my boat, and then dove down, did his 360, did everything we taught him to do. Came up, got the rigging from the tow truck, went down, rigged the vehicle, pulled it up. Nobody was in the vehicle. It was a stolen car dump, But you got to make sure no one's in the vehicle, so you got to pull that car out and check it thoroughly. Plus, we don't want to ruin the environment by letting the oils and everything in that car. So we got the car out. It was pretty cool. So it was a good productive time on the SAR team. Other than that, I've been doing a lot of trash cleanup, and for every new subscriber to my channel, I'm going to pick up that many pieces of trash for the year of 2024. And then also, I'm doing a lot of searching. I'm searching for a missing person by the name of Eric Wells in Pierce County, Washington. So I've been doing a lot of searching, finding some sunken boats. Haven't found any cars yet. I mean, I know I did see an old truck sticking out of a lake on my way to my search area. So eventually I'm going to search that lake. I know it's an old truck, but if that made it in the water by going down the train tracks and then going in the water, I want to see what else is in that water. But so many lakes. So right now I'm like, my off time from work is being spent on trying to search for Eric Wells in missing in Pierce County. But here we are doing a live stream on Lee, the Aqua Adventures channel, and we're going to go over the top 10 amputee diver tips to give back to scuba divers and the amputee community. So go ahead, Lee.
Yeah, for you that are joining in who don't know Corey is an amputee. He's got is it a just below your knee?
Yeah, just below my knee. If you guys don't believe me, here's a prosthetic leg. I don't just own prosthetic legs for fun. I have to use them. So yeah.
And Corey, like in your experience while you've been diving as an amputee diver, how popular is it for to see someone who's an amputee diving? I've only seen one other than you, Corey.
There's not very many amputee divers out there. I did meet a few more through social media, and but in person, I know there was one older gentleman by the name of Lonnie. He was above the knee amputee, and we were in Bonaire Island, and him and his son were diving, and so I got to meet him. I don't know if he dives anymore because I think he's getting pretty up there in age. But I did meet another diver that I kind of lost bases with, and he did a little bit of commercial diving. I think he ended up moving out of state, and that's where I lost touch with him. I think we just kind of every once in a blue moon kind of see each other on Facebook. But there's a handful out there that I've kind of met. I did have one amputee diver in Florida that I've never met, and she was kind of bad mouthing me, saying I'm not doing anything for the dive community or the amputee community. And I'm like, no, you have me all wrong. I would love to. I'm just not there yet. I'm like trying to build, and then eventually I would love to sit down and do a nice thing for the amputee community, because I always want to be able to inspire somebody to be happy and to help relieve the stress and the depression and anything that is related to an amputation, because I'm a way better person right now because of scuba diving, with all the stuff that I had to deal with becoming a new amputee and dealing with the pain throughout the years. So, but she kind of bagged on me. So I don't know where she was coming from. And she was a PADI instructor, which that kind of says a lot, So, and I'm a SSI, SDI, DM diver. So and then plus she's in Florida where they don't wear anything when they go diving. They just wear BCD and that's it. Where we have to do, a lot more lead, exposure suits, stuff like that. But I said, look, I don't know what your problem is. I will give back to the amputee community. I'm just not right there yet. So here is, I had her in mind, when I'm going and trying to put a lot of thought into this. So I'm putting a lot of thought into this. And this is going to be the top 10 amputee diver tips. Now, this is going to be my perspective. And just so people are kind of aware, I'm not an amputee of like a couple of days. I've been an amputee since 2009. And my amputation was trauma. Like I died on the side of a road. I was resuscitated a few times. Where they had to put blood and everything, and I tourniquet my own leg to try to slow the blood loss and stuff. So, I'm not just somebody who just walked in the hospital one day and walked out and says, "Oh, I'm an amputee. Life is great." No, this is it was a great challenge for me as an amputee to progress, especially with how damaged my leg was from the injury, and then going into diving. 2 years later, after learning how to walk a little bit better, and then going into diving 2 years later, I've been in SAR for many years, and then that says, "Oh, I want to go back into SAR now that I'm doing diving. I want to go back into SAR." So I jumped right back into SAR. Like it was pretty quick, with some a little bit of time in between. So I do have a bit of experience as an amputee, in my opinion, and I do have a bit of experience as a diver. I have over 900 dives. I'm a DM, um, and I do a lot of crazy diving. I'm a SAR diver, so I think I have a little bit on my belt where I can attest to this. So it's
Yeah.
not just some random amputee who's been a diver for 10 days and an amputee for 12 days talking about it. So anybody out there who is an amputee, say, oh, okay, well, he's been an amputee for a while. He's been a diver for a while. So there's a little bit of credit to what he's saying, just to kind of throw that out there.
And
But
why is it, Corey? Why do you think the diving community doesn't see many amputee divers?
man, I'll tell you, it is a challenge. You're talking about, first, you got to learn how to walk again, and then you got to deal with the pain. And like one of my friends who became an amputee shortly after me meeting him, he was a diver back when he had two legs. So he's like learning how to walk, dealing with the pain, and then getting back into his dive gear. And that was a hard challenge for him. And he's doing really well. Scott is doing really well. He's probably, I would say Scott is my favorite fellow amputee out there. And he ended up moving down to Florida, and like it was crazy. He was on my SAR dive team too. We did a crazy mission where it was just a little crazy, and he was dealing with a little bit of like that experience, but then he bounced back so hard and awesome. He's a cave diver now, so he's doing like cave diving in Florida. He's like, oh, you got to come down here, dive with these guys. And I was like, I'd love to. If I just didn't have to work so much, I'd love to run down there and just hang out with them for a couple weeks and just do some diving in the cenotes and stuff down there. But yeah, he's having a blast, and I would say he's adapted so well, just like me, to becoming an amputee and then going into the diving to enjoy ourselves and mental health and everything like that.
So I'm super thankful for you, Corey, for coming on. And I did say,
Absolutely.
is it a subject that could be out there that people would like to listen to? Your top 10 tips on being an amputee diver. Is there something in there on becoming an amputee diver, or how are
Well,
you approaching this, Corey?
well, I would say like this may not be for everybody because not everybody's an amputee. But at least if something down the road where somebody goes, "Oh, I'm an amputee now. What do I do with myself?" Somebody go, "Hey, you know what? There's a lot of amputees that are doing a lot of cool things. What do you want to do that makes you happy?" There's an amputee golfer, there's an amputee hunter, there's an amputee fisherman, there's an amputee scuba diver. We're gonna fill that role of being the amputee scuba diver, to kind of help put it out there where someone can click on this video maybe a couple months from now, and that might inspire them to say, oh yeah, maybe I can do amputee diving. So yeah, so I hope this kind of helps.
Well, I really do, mate, and I think it's fascinating, mate, and the stories I've heard from you. Uh, I hope people watch this video and they get inspired by what you've done, Corey, and what you've achieved, mate. I really do hope a lot of people can get inspired by you, mate.
Yeah, and it's kind of motivated me in a way to do a little bit more. I mean, like Sam the Adventure Man was always telling me, he goes, "Hey, you're already doing this. You need to just put it on camera." And I was thinking, I was like, yeah, he's right, but I wasn't like doing it all the time. I was just kind of doing it on my off time. But it's like now it's like, yeah, it's kind of a part-time job. Like I can't like we talked earlier, I can't remember the last time where I just sat and just relaxed because I'm always busy. No, don't get me wrong, I love trying to help people, and I want to help do my part by cleaning up the environment. I mean, I'm spearfishing, I'm taking fish out of the water. The least I can do is try to do a nice little balance where I'm cleaning up trash out of the water as well, making a better environment for the fish, the marine life, the future generations, as well as getting my harvest out of the water as well, depending on it. But yeah. But what do you think, Lee? Should we kind of get into this real quick?
Yeah, let's get into it. But first of all, for you that don't know Corey's an amputee diver. And at the moment, Corey's got a mission. And that mission is for every new subscriber Corey gets, is going to remove one piece of trash from the water system, whether it be lake, river, or the ocean. He's going to remove one piece of trash for every new subscriber he gets throughout 2024. So if you aren't already subscribed, after this live, I will put his link in the description. So pop over, please subscribe to him, send him a message. Hey, Corey, new supporter here. So class me as one piece of trash, please.
Absolutely. I really appreciate it too. Yeah, it's just a great way to kind of get out and, try to show people what we're doing to help improve everything and make it better for everybody.
We've got one person. I've just seen someone in chat called Robocall. Now, Colin's an amputee.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I know Colin struggled a bit because he lives on himself and he doesn't have much as the way of family around him. And I do know Colin struggled from time to time with a bit of depression and things. So you might have some good words, Colin. Corey here, he's an amputee and he's an amazing diver. And we're going to hear some of his tips in a minute.
Yeah, and it's normal. And then, going through stages of grief and depression and pain and mental pain and physical pain, that's all normal. It gets better and better and better, and I didn't think there was any end in sight, and it does. It gets better. But I mean, I would say just for me, I did a lot of research on other amputees who, back when I was a fresh amputee, I did some research on other amputees who already went through the healing process, who already relearned how to walk. And I was seeing how successful they were. And that's what I wanted. I wanted success. I mean, I was poor. I didn't have a penny to my name after getting hit because the bills kept coming, but I was not making money anymore because I had one leg. So now I'm doing okay. Yeah, I think I'm doing okay. It's went back to school, did my physical therapy. I work for the government now. I'm doing all right. So and then I'm traveling multiple destinations a year. Got a lot of toys. I'm all right. So let me get into this though, because we got the time is running. Okay, so I'm going to start the very first thing, the most important thing for amputees on this top 10 amputee diver tips. We're going to start with the most important, the foundation. We're going to do the foundation up to the diving, right?
Okay.
So physical therapy is probably one of the most important things about amputees in going into the diving. Because I'm going to tell you why. You want to learn how to walk, right? You got to submit to the physical therapist. And I put some notes down here. Submit to your physical therapist and do your inpatient and or outpatient therapy. Everyone who becomes an amputee when they lose a foot or leg has to relearn how to walk again with their new prosthetic. You will have to re-strengthen those muscles that are weak from the healing process. I lost a lot of muscle when I didn't eat. I was in the hospital for 3.5 months. I didn't eat for a month. They said that they threatened to put a tube in me if I didn't start eating. And so I started with like Jello, and to try to eat, but I lost a lot of muscle. I just didn't eat. The reasoning behind this, as a scuba diver, you're going to have to carry lots of weight. and walk various amounts of distance with all that scuba gear from your vehicle to the dive boat or the shore diving location. To give you an idea how much weight you will be carrying, most of the tanks I dive with are aluminum and steel tanks. They're 80 to 100 cubic feet size tanks. The tanks weigh about 35 pounds, plus or minus, depending on how full they are. A full tank is going to weigh a little bit more than an empty tank. It is also very common for divers to carry a tank in each hand, transporting them to the vehicle or the boat or the shore diving location. So you got to figure you're carrying about 70 pounds between both hands. When I'm on vacation in tropical waters, diving with just shorts and a t-shirt, I wear about 16 pounds of lead. And then a 35-pound tank on my back. And then I would say about 15 pounds will probably account for the back plate and my camera system, maybe like a flashlight. So roughly, I'm probably pushing about 66 pounds on my person when I'm doing tropical diving. And I don't dive. I usually don't dive with a wetsuit when I'm trying. I'm a bigger, huskier guy, so I usually just shorts and a t-shirt. Where I live, it's cold. It is cold, so I have to add a lot of weight to account for my exposure suit. You know, I started with a wetsuit my first 3 years. Now I'm in a dry suit. I did a neoprene dry suit. Now I'm in a shell dry suit. So I use about 20 pounds of lead. And I put in a harness that goes on my shoulders down to my waist. And I got a 35-pound scuba tank on my back. And then 15 pounds would probably be for like my camera, dive lights. And then I have a heavier back plate for my cold water. I use like a stainless steel back plate. Got like an 8-pound lead built into the back of it where the tank would go. So that's probably about like 12 pounds total for the back plate. So in cold waters, I'm roughly diving with, I would say, probably 65 pounds on my person when I'm walking into the water or when I'm diving off the boat. Now, when you walk into the water, sometimes you can see the water, sometimes you can't, the visibility. So you're stepping over rocks, logs, and stuff like that. So you need to have a good amount of strength in your legs and upper body to be able to carry that weight without falling over and drowning in like 2 feet of water. So that's kind of why you want to really submit to the physical therapist. So you can do all those exercises, inpatient, outpatient, to re-strengthen those muscles, if not making those muscles stronger. And to kind of give you an idea, when I was dealing with my depression and alcoholism, after becoming an amputee, I was really fit because I was getting ready for the Army. I went from 210 all the way up to 303 pounds. It was a big because of I wasn't out running anymore. I ran the morning I got hit. So, I was in great shape. And then all of a sudden I get hit, lose my leg, and then I'm drinking, and then I'm, just eating junk food. So I went all the way up to 303 pounds. And then I really worked at it, and I went from 303 down to 250. And I think the most I lost was 30 pounds in a month. And then when I kind of plateaued at 250, I started lifting a lot of weights. And then I gained a little bit of weight from muscle and started increasing my muscle. I ended up putting on more muscle than I lost in the hospital. But then since our COVID lockdowns, I kind of lost my motivation. And so I haven't been lifting anymore. And so I put on like probably 20 pounds just from not lifting and lost some muscle mass. So it'd be nice to kind of like, get some stuff to get me motivated to get back in the gym. But like, then where would I find the time? But the most important thing is your physical therapy to be able to exercise your body, work those muscles, because you're going to have to deal with a lot of carrying of a lot of heavy weight to become a diver as an amputee. But you could do it. I mean, I know there's other amputee divers that do it. So the next thing I want to go over is having a separate leg aside from your everyday walking leg for scuba diving or water-related sports. Prosthetic legs are super expensive because of the parts and the amount of labor that goes into making them. They're also only built custom to that specific amputee patient. There have been stories where amputees have lost their prosthetic limb in the water, never found again, making them have to use an old prosthetic leg that they grew out of that doesn't fit properly, or without any leg until they get a new one built. It's wiser to have a separate leg for your scuba diving or other water related hobbies. A way you can do this without going broke is having a leg built just from just for your water. Is maybe use an older prosthetic. And for me, I have a couple water legs. This was an old socket that this used to fit me properly until I grew out of it, because your stump is still shrinking, right? So I use this and I just add a little bit more ply, and this will be my water leg. And I put a water foot on there, which is cheap. It's not expensive like a prosthetic foot. I mean, it is prosthetic foot, but it's not meant for everyday walking, just for water. So people got to realize that, I'll use my everyday leg in the water. It's not a good idea. They have to realize that not everything on a prosthetic leg is made out of stainless steel or titanium. There's regular steel parts. They will rust. And if they can't get those pieces undone, then you could literally trash your leg, or salt water will literally rust away those components, and they'll make it to where your leg is useless, where they can't even service it. It's already happened to me. I mean, even certain things will erode away due to salt water. Let's see, where did I leave off? It's probably worth a little bit of money out of pocket that you would pay for a water foot and just have it put on an old socket. I think I spent $700 out of pocket to pay for a water foot on an old socket. But now I'm not risking my $16,000 prosthetic leg that I walk on every day doing water. So just think of that. Let's see. Aside from water foot, you can also get different devices such as a scuba fin installed on your water leg in place of the foot. The guy that I kind of talked to on social media, Randy Lord with Amp Fin Revolutions, has a great way where they can attach a fin that it goes in the place of the foot where that socket would be, and then you can kick and it would be like an extra fin. Now for me, that wouldn't really work for me, because when I go diving, I have to walk out of the shore and I have to climb up on a ladder in a boat. But for others, that might work for them. I'm just saying that may be a way that they would enjoy diving. So there's different options that you can choose. My solution isn't going to be the only solution. There's other solutions out there. I'm just letting everybody know what works for me. So, but you can always look up Amp Fin Revolutions and look at that solution as well. That might help, and Randy would appreciate anybody I send his way to kind of talk shop about water related prosthetics. So he'd appreciate that. Let's see. So for me specifically, I have my everyday walking leg. I have one water leg that lives in my dry suit, and I have one water leg that I just showed you guys a little bit ago that I take with me when I go on warm water trips, that I can use in the shower, I can use in the swimming pool, I can use when I'm jumping off the boat. And I only wear a fin on my real leg. It's pointless to wear a fin on my water leg. Now, I know somebody who does that. That's fine. That works for them. I don't need it. I'm just as fast, using the one fin. Of my muscle in my left leg has gotten pretty big, but that's okay. But I also have a fourth leg, and that's where I had a running blade put on it So hopefully I can start using that again when my treadmill gets fixed to start dropping some of the weight again. So I have 4 legs right now. So four prosthetic legs. So the next one, and if anybody has any questions, Lee can kind of help me address as he's reading the
Yeah,
chat.
we've had a
I'm gonna
couple
try
of
to get through all these.
questions, Corey,
Yeah,
but I
yeah.
said wait till the end. We'll do a questions at the end because I've got a few questions as well. Just listening to you,
Okay.
mate, I find it really fascinating. So I've got a couple
Yeah,
of questions. We'll hit
yeah,
with
absolutely.
them at the end, mate.
Yeah. Now the first few were pretty lengthy, but they get shorter and shorter. I covered the most important ones first. So the next one is training experience is in scuba diving to improve your mental health. You're willing to put in the time and effort. Anyone suffering from amputation will go through the stages of grief and depression. Losing a limb is a life-altering situation that can take a toll on your mental health. Scuba diving can definitely help you combat those demons and improve your mental health. You just need to become a competent diver. Don't just stop your training at open water certification. Continue your training. There are many courses and trainings you can attend to become a more skilled diver. Every time you go scuba diving, you're gambling with your life and possibly the life of your dive buddy. Aside from continuing your training, you should gain a bunch of experience by going diving frequently. You'll become a more skilled and competent diver. Those tasks you once struggled with will become a breeze after you gain those necessary training experience to overcome them. Before you know it, your demons have been fading away because you're focusing your energy and mind on becoming the next badass diver. I don't get I didn't get to where I am today by stopping my training at open water. I put in the time and the training and the effort to become the diver I am today. Now, to give you guys an idea, I worked my way up, open water, doing all these little side courses, getting my master diver, rescue diver, dive master. I was even like, I had one thing left to complete my assistant instructor, but then I kind of like stopped and I said, oh, I got to pay more money every year. I don't want to teach people. I'm just doing this for the skills. And so I stopped so I wouldn't have to pay more money every year. And SDI or SSI, if I want to go back and help students, I got to go pay them money plus a little money that I owe. But they said, yeah, you keep your cert level. You just, don't teach people. That's fine, and in SAR, we have training officers in SAR. So it's like, nice. I don't have to how hard is it to teach a search pattern? I mean, I could teach my stepson to teach anybody to do a search pattern. We're going to do expanding circle. Let's go out into the grass, grab this rope, pretend you're underwater. Let's throw some bullet casings down. Keep extending. Do you find the bullet? It's so simple. Now you do it underwater. All right, we're adding a little bit of difficulty to it. It's a simple process of doing. So that's working my way up, doing all this training, and then becoming a SAR diver, and then working with other people like Chaos Divers and Depths of History, Sam the Adventure Man, working with all these people, expanding my knowledge in SAR. I've been in SAR for like 18 years now. This is a new chapter in my SAR, my SAR side of my life.
SAR means search and rescue, by the way.
Yeah, search and rescue, search and recovery. It's like if how do I explain this? Somebody who was a brand new diver wanted to look for somebody in a river. I said, "What are you doing?" And they said, they got really defensive. And I said, "Look, I'm not picking on you. I don't want to see you get killed. You're a brand new diver. You don't know what you're doing yet. You don't even know the dangers. You don't even know how difficult it is. Well, who are you? Who are you to tell me?" And if they saw me in person, they'd probably be like, you're just some guy with one leg. You know what I mean? Like they'll pass judgment pretty quick. But I'm just like, hey, you're brand new. You don't even know what you're doing. You're gonna like literally kill yourself. So take baby steps and build up to becoming that competent diver. Don't just jump right into it. Because I see people who like Patty, for example. Oh, I became a diver this year, 50 dives later. Oh, I'm a dive instructor. I can teach people how to dive, even though I don't know how to dive still. It's like that. Patty. I mean, I'm not trying to bag on anybody with Patty certs or anything like that, but Patty's really quick to kind of throw it out there to help their industry out. And scuba diving is a dying industry, so I don't blame Patty for trying to make their money. But it's like I hear those conversations from people like, "Oh, yeah, I'm a Patty instructor. I got it my first year." I'm like, "God damn, that's crazy." Get some experience first. So, but I would say training, never stop. Build your training. Each training you do is an extra tool in your toolbox to help keep you alive and to do certain tasks underwater. Think of it like that. If something happens, you want to have as many tools at your disposal as possible. And you want to have the level-headedness and the calmness to be able to overcome that challenge so you can safely get out of the water and with your tasks completed and everything. So also I want to say, let's see, be open-minded to other amputee divers and their experience and tactics. If someone has not been working well if something has not been working well for you, the solution might be answered from an amputee who has been diving longer than you. If an amputee is struggling with something, you may have a solution that is unknown to them, and vice versa. That's a great thing about networking. I would say if anything, you may have a great inspiration and motivation for those other individuals, and you may have been struggling with a certain thing. They may have already figured that out, but they may have something that they haven't figured out yet, but that you already figured out yet. So when you're networking and talking with that other diver, you'd be like, oh, that's a great idea. And likewise, that's how you can actually learn from each other. And now you guys are both going up in the next tier of diving because you're both learning from each other. The next one, you got to kind of be able to maintain your own prosthetic. You may be on vacation or stuck at home during a storm. Either way, your leg is not functioning properly and you are unable to make it to your prosthetic place for maintenance and repairs, or they might be closed. You might want to take some basic tools with you on your trips or have some basic tools at home to make some minor adjustments or repairs to your prosthetic leg. A prosthetic leg will break down over time like a car. If it does break down, you're stranded just like a car won't start. If you can be more familiar with how your leg works and how you can take it apart and put it back together, be familiar with how you have your settings on your screws and how to adjust the angle of your leg so you can walk comfortable and have a more correct gait. To give you an idea, I was on a trip for 2 weeks in the Caribbean on a ship, and all of a sudden the pin system wasn't working properly on my leg. And I'm like, crap. Now, when you pack to be on a ship for 2 weeks, you're packing very light. So I had to talk to the carpenter and borrow tools. And then I'm thinking to myself, that was the first time that I took apart that leg, but I didn't have a choice. So I'm in my cabin, taking apart this leg, and I'm thinking, oh, I see what the issue is. Something rusted out and broke. It was a spring that rusted out and broke, a little spring. And I told myself, I said, well, that looks like a spring inside of a ballpoint pen. So I went inside, I took a ballpoint pen, and I took it apart, and I cut that spring in half and put it in there. And that was a temporary fix for my leg, so I could get through the rest of that 2 weeks. If I couldn't do that, then my 2 weeks were kind of shot without that water leg, but I was able to do that. So you want to be able to work on your leg. And there's been times where it's the holidays or the prosthetic place is closed. I live like an hour and a half from my prosthetic place, but I go out of the way to go there because they're a very professional place. And even when they expanded and had multiple branches, I still go to the original location because I love the crew there. I'm so, I have a good rapport with that crew that works at that prosthetic place. So, but I've had times where I'll take apart my stuff and do something, and I'll take it in eventually when they are open and say, hey, I had to do this and that. And so they're like, yep, cool, get you a new part, boom, boom, boom. Here's this, just in case you got to do it again. So be kind of versed with how you maintain your own leg. Just like, can you change your own tire on your car, or do you have to always take it to a shop? You know, can you change your own light bulb and when your headlights or taillights, if it burns out, or do you got to take it to a shop? I'm not asking you to replace your engine. I'm just like saying, hey, just for minor maintenance. Here's another really important one. This is try not to overdo it on your prosthetic leg or water leg. The worst thing as an amputee is to get a pressure sore or an abscess due to the overdoing it on your leg. Even the most strongest and fit amputees still get sores. It's just a way it's just a way our bodies are. If you do get an injury, you could be unable to get around for long periods of time. Even to this day, after being an amputee for over 14 years, I get sores from not slowing down and pushing myself too much. If your residual limb feels pain or uncomfortable inside your socket, then you need to stop and figure out how to re-roll your liner, add or subtract ply, add some cream on your skin before you're rolling on your liner to help those hot spots, or adjust your leg. You can't ignore the discomfort and the pain. You're going to get sores. You're going to get stuck. You'll be on the couch. I'll tell you this. I lost 2 days of Hawaii because I ended up getting a sore last August. I sent my wife and stepson to Hawaii without me. And I did a lot of overtime, and there was a lot of stairs involved. I'm running up and down the stairs all day. And I overdid it, working a couple of doubles doing that. So I ended up getting a pressure sore. It turned into an abscess. It was deep. It turned into an abscess. I had to call out of work. I couldn't move, couldn't wear my prosthetic. I went to the ER and I said, hey, it's an abscess. And the doctor's arguing with me. He goes, oh no, we'll give you antibiotics. I said, look, I've already had this before. It's an abscess. It's so random. The doctor, talks to me like I'm an idiot, like I don't know anything. And I said, sure, fine, whatever. And then I'm in so much pain. I'm going through all my old pain meds from other surgeries just to subdue the pain. It hurts so bad. I go back to a different ER because I'll never go to the other one when it's like dealing with that. I go to a different ER and I'm telling the doctor, I said, I already went to the ER a couple days ago. It hurts so bad. He goes, yeah, it's an abscess. And I said, that's what I told the other doctor. I said, he wouldn't listen to me. And he goes, we need to cut it open. I said, yeah, exactly. Ultrasound it, cut it open, And they were hearing my story, and I was talking about what I did on YouTube and stuff like that, and what I do with the government, all that stuff. And the guy goes, you know what? This is what you're gonna do. Even though you might lose Hawaii, I'm gonna give you a bunch of stuff to where we're gonna speed up your healing process to where you can try to make it to Hawaii. He gave me waterproof bandages and everything because I was supposed to go diving and everything. He really hooked me up with a bag of stuff. And it kind of helps, being on the fire department too, like that, when you talk, and then they really want to try to help you out because you're all you're all working each other for the communities and stuff. So they really hooked me up. And so they cut me open, drained it. They sent me home. And yeah, I know.
No. I was
Okay.
just tapping my screen because it just went black. I'm trying to do
Okay.
this.
So I still wasn't healed up. I was in pain. I still wasn't healed up enough to go to Hawaii on time. So I sent my wife and stepson, but without me, with a couple of friends. They went to Hawaii. She was really upset, and I said, "Just go. Just don't let me ruin your time. Just go." And then I was home by myself, so I was able to really push myself without distraction, and just force myself to wear my leg, and I was able to get around with crutches for a couple of days, and then I worked my way down to a cane. And I told my other friends that were gonna join the Hawaii trip a couple of days later, I said, hey, I really want to do this. I really want to try to make it to Hawaii. And my friend, he's like a nurse in the ER, he goes, all right, cool, let's keep it a secret. So I bought the plane ticket. the airline says, hey, let's put you in first class. We'll give you a really good discount on first class for like $160. I said, cool. So they put me in first class on the way there. And then I was going to ride with them on the way back in their next to their seats. So she got me, we had to cancel my original ticket, and boom, she even gave me a credit that we have to use in a year. So, so she put me in first class. I went there, and I'm there with 4 of my friends, and I'm using a cane to get around, and I'm in pain. And then I'm like, all right, guys, let's get on the plane, you know. And I go and sit in first class, and they're all looking at me like, what the hell? We helped you get to the airport, and you're in first class. What about us? You know. And then, so I told them to get back in the plane with the rest of the commoners, and then we got to Hawaii, and we planned it out to where my wife was joining us for lunch and my stepson. And I hid around the bar. And when they walked around the bar to sit down, I came around, surprised her. She started crying, you know. And I was walking on a cane, but I slowly healed while I was in Hawaii. Was able to do the manta ray dives and stuff. Like even walking through the volcano tubes, it hurt, but I just pushed myself through it. But it was great. I'm glad I was able to make it on that trip. But you know, still pushing myself. I lost 2 days that trip. So don't push yourself. You know, just if your leg hurts or it's uncomfortable, that's your body telling you to stop, evaluate, and adjust, you know. So anyways, so let's go into traveling real quick. I'm going to speed through these next ones. So traveling as an amputee, sometimes to get those amazing scuba diving destinations, we need to travel. When we're traveling, taking your water leg, extra ply socks, extra liners, powder for your liners, cream for your residual limb. Take all that stuff with you, because you're probably going to be in a third world country where they're not going to have any of that stuff. And if you get a hole in your liner, you're done. It's like going on a road trip with a flat tire. You can't make it to your other destinations. You need to have a spare tire. Having a spare liner is going to be your spare tire. Having your water leg. If your main leg breaks down, at least you have a water leg to still kind of get around, you know. So you want to have all that extra stuff with you. Also, allow for extra time at the airport. Traveling as an amputee, no matter where I'm at, almost no matter what country I'm in, they're going to swab me for explosives residue, like as if my leg is made out of that stuff, you know?
Yeah.
So every time they really scan me. They really like check my leg for trap doors. They swab my hands, my shoes, my legs. They make me walk through the scanners. I've had people yell at me, take your shoes off. And I'm like, I'm an amputee. I don't take my shoes off. You know, where am I going to do that? You know, just, you know, and I get in arguments with all these like TSA people who think they know something, but they don't. And, you know, I go through all the extra checks, and then when they pat search me, they really get up in there, you know, when they're pat searching me, feeling everything down there. You know, it's like, that's the crap I got to deal with, you know, as an amputee traveling. I'm sure other amputees are doing this, have to deal with the same thing. So just allow extra time. Plus standing in lines, get pre-check. It'll help get whatever you can to get in the smaller lines, the global reentry. Just do it. You know, it'll help your leg and the pressure from standing those long lines. So just pay for those. Next one. Get used to climbing up and down ladders and stairs with your scuba gear. When you're diving on a boat, you know, you're going to be going on a ladder. 95% of the times you're going on a ladder. When I was in Northern Ireland, they had a lift on the boat. That was really weird. That was my first time doing that.
Is that the first time you used the boat lift?
Yeah, that was weird.
They're awesome, aren't they?
I mean, I don't care. I climb down ladders, but whatever. You know, when I was in California, they had a deck that was just an inch or two below water. You had to swim on it like a beached whale, and then they take your stuff. It was really weird. I don't know why they do that. But anyways, that's how their boat operated. Other than that, 95% of the time, you're climbing up ladders and you're walking up and down stairs to the boat, whatever, with your gear. So get used to that. Get used to that. That kind of goes in line with physical therapy. Wear shorts. I only wear pants when I'm in uniform at work. I will not wear pants on my off days unless I'm going to, like, maybe I've even gone to weddings, you know, in shorts. I think I might even have attended a funeral wearing black shorts or dark blue shorts. I'm sorry, but I'm an amputee and I reserve the right to wear shorts whenever I want. Wearing shorts is not just a fashion sense. It is something's wrong with my leg. I need to be able to fix it. Is there a bathroom I can go to fix it because I got to pull my pants down because I'm wearing pants? Or can
Yeah.
I fix it in public because I'm wearing shorts? Think
I
about
just
it.
want to explain something, right? Guys, Corey's American. Pants in America mean trousers. Pants in the
Yeah,
United Kingdom mean underwear, Corey. So I just
right.
want to sort that out so people don't think you're
Oh,
running around in just your underwear.
what's
Do you know what I mean,
what's
mate?
what's the other term? Pantaloons?
Yeah,
Pantaloons? Is that the other term? Pantaloons? Yeah,
yeah.
so shorts meaning like basketball shorts, khaki shorts, cargo shorts, something where you can access your leg a lot easier. So shorts. Amputees, stock up on shorts. Um, let's see. Lastly, be helpful and grateful, as well as give something back to the amputee community. We are all still alive. I shouldn't be alive today, but I am. God kept me alive. The medics kept me alive. The surgeon kept me alive. My friends and family kept me alive. They all played a part on me still being alive, and I'm grateful for that. Because if I died back in 2009, I would never met my wife. I would have never met a lot of friends. I would never had a lot of experiences. I know it sounds weird, but my life is better now, even as an amputee, than before when I had two legs. You know,
Very
my
good.
life back when I had two legs, what was I doing? I was getting on my motorcycle and meeting up with my other friends with their motorcycles, and we were going to the bars, bar hopping on our motorcycles and stuff like that. That was our weekend. Go work some lame job and then spend our check in the bars, bouncing around on our motorcycles, being young adults. Now as I have a lot more meaning to my life. It's really humbled me being an amputee. Um, Half of us amputees are due to trauma. Mine was trauma, while the other half are planned surgeries. Either way, we all have to be happy we're still on this earth experiencing the wonders and joys of this earth. Yeah, and there's a lot of bad things too. You can't have good times without bad times. You can't have bad times without good times, or else they would just be called times. Think of it that way. You know, there's no such thing as a good experience without a bad experience. There's no such thing as a bad experience without a good experience, or they'll also just be experiences. So we got to be thankful for the good times because the bad times really help us get humble about it. Um, one of those wonders is just exploring the underwater, experiencing all the marine life, the wonders, the shipwrecks, the plane wrecks, the treasures. I found a lot of cool stuff underwater. Um, that sense of treasure hunter growing up watching Indiana Jones. I mean, get that cat out of here. I'm allergic to cats.
Yeah, I know. He's keep trying to dive in. I'm trying to
Yeah, I
stop
know.
him.
Scuba diving. Scuba diving can also lead to something more than just recreation. Uh, you know, I went back into search and rescue or search and recovery, helping people, helping recover lost loved ones, helping eliminate search area so we know where those people are. I love sharks, sharks. I would say my favorite marine life are octopus and then sea turtles and then nudibranchs and then sharks. Sharks are like that danger you have to respect. But one of my favorite times was petting nurse sharks when we were doing shark feeding. That was really cool in the Bahamas. Um, I'm glad I was able to be a volunteer again, give back to our community, as a diver. Um, the possibilities are endless. Just remember to try to get back to the amputee community, get back because you along every amputee that deals with amputation, the reason that they are successful or doing better is because there was another amputee that they looked at that they said, that's working for that guy. That's going to motivate me. That's going to inspire me to do what I want to do. So try to give back because you're going to be the next inspiration. You're going to be the next motivation for that new amputee. And I'll tell you this, like when I first became an amputee, there was very little coverage. Like YouTube was like not really a thing yet. It was just kind of
Yeah.
becoming a thing. But there was like only maybe one other amputee out there. This I can't remember her channel, but lady with glasses, something amped, whatever it is. There's a lot of amputees that became an amputee after me that are really taking to social media, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, whatever, going directly. They're covering just amputees. They're doing really well. They're more successful than I am in this whole social media one. That's great, but they're really a great way for an amputee to kind of learn stuff, to say, what worked for you? I'm dealing with pain. What worked for you? So when you do something, and you don't even have to do something amputee related. You can be like, hey, I'm an amputee and I go bow hunting. Check this out. I'm just covering bow hunting, but I'm an amputee. So the fact that somebody can go, wow, I wish I could go hunting again. I have one leg, I can't do it. I have one arm, I can't do it. Holy crap, look at this guy. He's an amputee. He's going hunting. It may not be rifle hunting, but it's bow hunting. Maybe I can get back into hunting. Maybe just do that. So for me, for example, even though I'm not covering a lot of amputee stuff on my channel yet, I'm an amputee diver. So hopefully in that kind of sense. So I'm trying to give back to the community. That's the whole reason why my channel's Cooper's Amputee Lifestyle, because it's basically everything my amputee chapter forward, So yeah. But that's kind of me kind of giving back to the amputee community.
I think it's awesome, Corey. I really do. Um, I think you're very inspirational, mate, is the word. Very, very inspirational. Now Colin, have you got some questions? Colin's amputee. Robocall, they call him.
Olin, how's it going? Absolutely. There is. And I know there are amputees out there that are even uh, way better than I am. They are so
Oh,
physically fit. Like they're, how do I say this? They have, they went directions where I know some amputees that are gym nuts that they just work out. They're hitting the gym. I wish like I could be as yoked as them, and they're just so fit. But then that's the thing; they spent time, and I've watched them transform into that very strong individual because the time they spent. Now me, yeah, I would love to be strong like them, but it's like then it would take away from my diving, it would take away from the YouTube thing, Um, so I want to focus on this, but well, Colin, you don't even really need a special made wetsuit for being an amputee. I have a regular suit. I just put my water leg in it, and then I just click right into it. You can wear a regular suit. You just need, put your water leg into it and then click into it. I'm assuming you're a leg amputee, whether it's a below the
yeah,
knee or above the
yeah,
knee.
yeah. Is Colin? Am I right saying you're above the knee? I might be wrong here, Corey. I have spoke to Colin. Um,
I've even heard somebody diving with an amputee hand where it was like a hook, but they were still able to get help putting on the straps and clicking and tightening everything down and being able to operate stuff.
question.
Yeah, I just use Jason, I just use my one fin. I use a regular fin on my left leg. Yeah, the muscle on my left leg is massive, but that's fine. One
Below
of
the
one of the
right
guys.
knee.
Hmm?
Colin's below the right knee amputee.
below the right knee. It's good that you still have your knee. Having that joint, that knee is so much easier. So you, Colin, you're basically like me because I'm a below the knee right knee. I'm a below the knee right leg. So yeah, you're basically like me. Just get a water leg, put it inside your wetsuit, click into it. Just remember to eventually take the leg out of the wetsuit so everything can dry, or else the salt water will slowly erode away the metals on your pylon of your water leg. And rinse it too. You want to rinse when you're diving in salt water. You want to rinse. You want to rinse that stuff and let it build a rack. Build a little rack. You can put your gear on and dry it. Let it dry in your garage or whatever, and then maintain it, WD-40 and stuff. If you notice, like metal parts are like the button is starting to kind of stick, hit a little WD-40 in it.
Here's one for you, Corey, right? Say Colin is interested and he thinks, right, Corey's
Mm-hmm.
inspired me. I'd like to do something like that. Is the much out there for, say, for instance, you walked up to a dive shop and said, I'm an amputee. What's the word? How
I'm an amputee
welcoming
and I want to become a
order.
diver.
Yeah. How welcoming order for amputees. Is it?
I mean, I'll tell you this. A lot of dive shops, they need your business. When
Yeah.
I started diving, there were more shops open, and a lot of them, half of them closed down because of, and then COVID. Man, I don't know how some of them survived during COVID. I mean, during COVID, I was using my SAR diver thing to go to shops to get air because I I didn't lock down. I was working. They called me essential. They forced me to go to work every day because working for the government in certain parts of the government, you have to still work. If aliens attacked, they'd still expect me to show up for work. If we were being invaded, they would still expect me to show up for work. So I didn't lock down. No, I was still diving. I had people threatening to call the police on me as I'm putting on my gear walking into the ocean. No cops who's going to arrest me because I'm going diving.
Yeah.
So I was, talking to somebody who had a shop. And I said, hey, can I come buy some air? And it was basically like, yeah, where the shop looks closed, but I'm going in the back door to get my air. And I'm like, yeah, I'm a SAR diver, we got to keep we still have to respond, so I'm filling my tanks during the whole lockdown. And our crooked government, they don't want people. They wanted everybody to stay home for like 2 years. That's why people are going out of business. That's the start of the whole inflation and everything. But yeah, I was yeah, I mean, they want your business. Dive shops need you to stay open. They need to sell you gear. They need to sell you training. They need to sell you some maintenance. They need to sell you air. That's how dive shops stay open. That's their livelihood. So if you walk in there as an amputee and say, hey, can I dive? Hell yeah, they're going to work with you. They worked with me back in 2011. I said, hey, I went through dive training in 2007. I couldn't finish it because my work would never give me the weekends off to do the 2 open water. I was just 2 open water dives away from completing it. And they said, and that was through NAUI at the time. And they said, yeah. We'll work with you. Yeah, they worked with me. It was great. So don't be afraid. Go in there. If the dive shop doesn't want to work with you, they don't need your money. Give your money to somebody else. But even if you're like, I know here in the U.S. they have Wounded Warriors Project, and I dove a lot with the Wounded Warriors because there were some people with amputations from IEDs. I went to Fort Lewis and I was on the military base diving with this guy who got blown up. He was there, his wife was there. We were in the water and I said, hey, ask me questions, whatever. I dove in the water, showed him that I could dive, and he was able, I hope he completed his training, so um, I may not dive the wind is really picking up. I may not dive today. The wind is really, really picking up outside, Lee. I'm amazed I have power still. but I'll just hang out at home today, hang out with the wife. But yeah, no, what are the questions? I want to be as helpful as you guys can ask me whatever you want. I'll try to answer everything. Colin, I really hope, I don't know, I know your amputation was surgery planned. I don't know where you're from or how old you are, or what your interests are. Huh? He's from the
Colin's in
UK?
the UK.
Oh, okay.
And
I was gonna say
he lives on the coast as well, mate.
oh, okay. I was gonna say the other Colin I knew was from was it, I hear stuff crashing outside. Was it Falklands? Falklands was where my other friend Colin was from. Falklands, or he was
Falkland.
also in the yeah, he was also from the UK in the military out there. Came to the States. But yeah, Colin, what do you want to do? How long you been an amputee? No, there's no problems with bad jokes. I have a really dark sense of humor. Pulling deceased people out of water and in the woods, and being on the fire department for 7 years has really created a really dark, desensitized sense of humor that I have.
Colin, have you any more questions? Colin,
People
is that
start asking me stuff. How many people are in here?
just I don't know, mate.
Jason, what's going on? Hey, Jason, I never received the dive knife, Jason. I don't know if Customs stole it. Did you ever send the dive knife, Jason? I don't know. I never received anything. I don't know if Customs stole it. I don't know if you got it returned or anything. I wanted to send you some money for the dive knife. 22. Wow, really fresh amputee. Okay. And I do like my gaming and being outdoors. Yeah, I used to play a lot of computer games. I don't have time for it really anymore. I force myself. I live on a farm, so I'm always kind of trying to fix this, fix that, chop wood, whatever. I love being outdoors. At a young age, I was in SAR, packing people out of the mountains, sent up LZs, getting ready for the Navy or the military, the Army, to fly them out. And then 9/11 happened. I was in the fire department during 9/11. Did a lot of wildland firefighting. Worked for the Forest Service. Was on strike teams.
So, Corey, Colin's 4 years in, maybe 3.5, depending what month. Is he at a sustainable level now where that would?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I mean, some people heal faster than others. Mine took a while because I had a lot of damage from my injury, but his was planned. He's probably doing a lot better than I was. What I would say is, if you love the outdoors, let's say it's hiking, for example, go on some day hikes. Pack a kind of a 24-hour pack, to where, I don't know, 24-hour pack means you can sustain being in the wilderness for 24 hours. 48 hours, 72 hours. We used to have 48 and 72-hour packs where you have to be prepared to stay in the woods for a weekend, or longer. So that's the amount of food, water, ways to make water, ways to make shelter, that sort of thing. Going to the pub. Yeah, going to the pub. Was Jason, if there was a tracking number, send me a tracking number. I will track it, and I will call the postal service, whatever you need to do. I will call them and harass them if you send me a tracking number. So, because I didn't get anything. I was kind of worried about it, and because, like, Jason is a blacksmith. The blacksmithing is really cool because my ancestors were blacksmiths. I saw some of his work, I have friends that receive some of his work. It is beautiful. He has custom handcraft knives. He was sending me a dive knife to use. Honestly, if I ever get that dive knife, that thing is going on my wall. I'm not going to use it.
Yeah,
It's going on my wall. It's going to be displayed because I don't want to lose it. It looks so cool, even with the handles he put on there. And
I
excuse me,
know.
sorry.
I
Yeah,
also, when I seen him as well, Corey, and
one. I want to. I know he's on here. I don't know why I'm whispering. I actually want to pay him to do some more kind of cool stuff, more knives, just so I can make him as displays. And I also want to, I want to do one in like a frame with like a box and stuff like that.
like
Uh, yeah,
I
some kind
can't
of
get
cool.
one. Jason
Yeah.
cannot post one to me. I think there's special paperwork saying it's a dive where we're not allowed to accept weapons, knives from
What?
other countries, mate.
I thought I brought knives into the UK because they
Yeah,
were dive knives.
yeah. If they're with your sports equipment and that, but
Right,
if
has to be. You had the gear has to be there. Yeah.
yeah, if he were just to send a
Can you
knife to
order?
me in the UK, it'd be like, yeah, no
Oh
chance.
yeah, I'll use it, Jason. I actually my thought process was when I spear fish and I bring the fish home to try to cut pieces of the fish before we smoke it or bag it and put it in the freezer. I was going to use it in like some videos when I do some catch and cook stuff, but I didn't want to risk losing it. I've lost dive knives in the ocean, and I wouldn't want to risk losing it. But what my process was I was going to have like a little thing on the wall, and then where it would kind of sit in, and then as I like, hey, we just got this fish, we're
I'd
home, we're
like
gonna smoke it,
that.
grab it off the thing, and then and clean it up again.
Wouldn't you like that? Do you know, like we've both been testing lights, dive lights for Orca torch and that. I,
Yeah.
I'd, I'd love someone just to be watching and say, hey, Corey, hey, Lee, we've got dive knives. Would you like to try them for us, make a video? Yeah, guys, if you're one
I
of them people, plug into
yeah
us. That's Corey. I'm
I
Lee.
I wanted to reach out to some dive knife companies. I know Orca Torch wanted to keep sending me lights. A lot of people, I think, doing the videos around Orca Torch or I shouldn't say that, around doing the flashlight reviews, I think it was hurting my channel. So I told Orca Torch, I said, hey, if you want to send me another light, I'm happy to take another light. And I've done, I don't know, maybe 20 reviews for them. I said, I will add it to my video and I'll give you a good minute. But I don't know. I think that kind of turned them off. I don't know. I bought one of their lights. So they finally came out with a green metal light. It's still in the box on my table, sitting there for a month. I think what I'll do is when I do a search video, I'm going to take a minute and go, hey, brought to you by Boom. Here's a light. Here's the name, the product, blah, 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 and then show them and see if they like that. But yeah, I like Orca Torch, my cousins over in China are making them. So it's good quality lights for inexpensive prices. Who else is in here? I want to say thank you everybody who's popping in. I know we got to have more questions. I can't see who's all in here. Who's all in here, Lee?
I'm
Everybody hit
only
like. Everybody
seeing,
hit like.
I'm only seeing, I
Who has
don't know if
questions?
it's slow or what, mate.
Yeah,
I've
let's
been
wrap it up in five minutes.
5 more minutes, guys. If you've got any questions for us,
Yeah, and
um,
I'm gonna do a video on this. I will do a video getting more in depth with some more visual aids to kind of help amputees, so they can understand, and it'll be a little more direct, so they can, you know. But my whole channel isn't going to be just for amputees. It's trying to cover everything.
Jason's just said, I wonder if I can buy it through, I don't know, Etsy shop or something. ETSY. Corey, you're coming over to me soon, aren't you?
Yeah, trying to this summer. Just waiting for my sergeant to let us know what we have off. I'm just kind of being patient. Eventually I'm just going to put in the time for it and see. There's a lot of stuff we're trying to get done. Going to go help with chaos divers and depths of history.
When's that
Help them
date,
search for missing
Corey?
people. Hmm?
When's your trip there? When you going there? When's
I
your next trip?
spring. I'm still waiting to get time off approved. You know, got a couple other trips planned. So yeah, just waiting.
Right. I think
Yeah.
that's
Well, if no one else is gonna say anything,
yeah.
I know it's kind of boring talking about amputees, huh? So I guess you know, we'll let you guys go about your days. Colin, Jason, thank you so much for popping in. Falco, thank you for so much popping in. Lee, thank you so much for having me. Maria, thank you for popping in. I'm not seeing.
Yeah.
Make sure I catch everybody. Thanks for having me. I know this was just kind of geared towards amputees, but we want to give opportunity for people to ask questions and stuff like that. So, Lee, that's been another live stream. Thank you so much.
I don't want it to be just kind of geared, although it were geared to amputees.
Yeah.
I want it to be inspiration as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
You may not be missing a leg. You may think, or you may suffer with depression, or something else might be the problem other than not having a limb.
Yeah.
And I hope you can inspire people, Corey, to motivate them if they want to achieve good, exciting things. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. No, and I would say, it's not everybody should be happy with where they're at. We should always try to strive to be better than we are in our current time. And if I look back in my life, even when I did have two legs, I wasn't as happy back then as I am now. But I don't want to just stay where I'm at. I want to continue. I want to continue being a better person. So I will try to do things to try to keep improving myself, like maybe growing my channel, for example, aside from my work. I'll keep putting in the hours and the days and the weeks and the months and the years until I retire. But then, I'll also have the YouTube thing where I can go more full time with it once I retire. I'm going to try to retire from my job in I don't know. I might leave it at even 20 or leave it at 25 years. And so I'm not quite to my halfway mark yet, but
Claire's just winged a question in for you, Corey.
Yeah, Claire, let's see. That's a good question. I know the paddle sports. Is that with the paddle boards where you're standing on a paddle board? I could never do a paddle board because that's like a lot of standing and the uneven stuff in the water. But I do know that people do kneel down on the paddle boards and stuff. So that's a good question.
How would that trouble you, Corey, if you were having to kneel down all the time?
I mean, it would kind of make my knee hurt. Like even sitting in the boat for long periods of time kind of makes my knees hurt. I got to stretch out. But yeah, kayaking. The kayaking would probably be really good. And I'll tell you this, rowing is great upper body. When you're rowing, it's great upper body. Paddling, it'd be good exercise. But I do know that people are doing yoga on paddle boards, and when somebody was talking about it here in the Puget Sound, I think they were doing it on a lake, but when the waves kind of happen, you're kind of your body's kind of trying to balance that board too. So you're kind of using muscles that you're not, because you're just trying to do the yoga, but then also you're trying to balance and stuff so you don't fall off. But yeah, I think it'd be great for anybody to try, even saying, hey, if you're an amputee, come on, we're gonna go try in this shallow swimming area, give it a shot. So I think that'd be good. Honestly, anything I would tell an amputee, because every amputee is going to have different interest. Everybody has different interest. You don't have to like scuba diving. What do you like? Well, that's what I would ask. As you an individual, you as an amputee, you as an individual, what do you like? What do you want to continue to do? What do you want to experience in the future? Work towards that. If they already had something they did that they want to continue, that's great. Like I know there was an Instagram guy. He was lost his leg in a motorcycle accident, got right back on a motorcycle, still does motorcycle stuff. He's happy. Somebody might go into something else, go, hey, I never got to experience this. I never got to do that. And then they go into that field. That's great. It's just whatever makes them happy. And there's going to be a lot of things that we don't know that we're going to like those activities. But the only way that we're really going to find out is if we go try to do it. I thought that I would really enjoy going back in the fire department. And I did enjoy some aspects of going back into the fire department as an amputee. And I gave him 3 more years, but I just wasn't as fast, I had certain people that looked down at me because I was an amputee, because I wasn't as fast as them. I even had a lieutenant that always chewed me out because I wasn't perfect for him. But people that were screwing up, behind me were perfect, and they were never getting to do that, And I had people that said like, oh, he left. Oh, no big loss. I'm not dumb. My friends, I had friends. I had lieutenants in the fire department. I had 2 lieutenants, and I had friends in the fire department that tried to convince me to come back. And I said, hell no. Why would I want to deal with those same people? No, come work at my station. Come reassign to my station. I really applaud those guys for coming at me and trying to get me to come back to the fire department. But I just didn't have quite the same experience. I think firefighting was better during the times like before and after 9/11. It was great. Like, I mean, shit, I've been on a roof, ventilating a roof by myself on a training burn on a building we burned down in the church donated us because it was cheaper than, it was already pre-cut. I just had to go louver and pipe pull, and I'm setting up 2 ladders, and I'm setting up a 3rd ladder. I'm doing this all by myself based upon what the career firefighters taught me to do. I have pictures and everything. They took pictures and shit. It was really cool. But I did now you can't even do that. It's too dangerous. No one's up there to back you up if you fall in. But every time somebody gets hurt, more rules, So the firefighting industry was a little more funner for me back then compared to today. Back then in 2000, 2001, compared to 2020 and on, the fire department is a little bit different. So I'm not bagging on them. I wish I had 2 legs so I could be a little more all I could be for them. So, but I still tried it. I still went and I gave it a few years, and it just didn't work out. So I accepted a position for the government and couldn't devote any more time for the fire department. So, but as an amputee, I'll tell you, go try something. You want to go work, do a certain kind of field, try it. Give it a few years. You don't like it, at least or you find something that you really like that you can do. Because I think there's even jobs that are very limited for amputees. So,
Corey, it's been awesome, man. You've really said some inspiring stuff.
Mm-hmm. I appreciate it. Wish there's more people
on.
What
do you want to leave it on, Corey? Something that, like a hard-hitting quote, or just something that'll stick in people's mind. What would you leave it on? What would you say to people?
I've got a lot of people who
inspirational.
Inspirational?
Yeah. For anybody out there who's watching, struggling, can't make their minds up, in a place where they want to go and do something but have not stepped over that line yet, you hit them, Corey.
Well, I mean, thinking of it this way, I took my legs for granted, and now I still did a lot of stuff with 2 legs. fishing, motorcycle, rock climbing, hiking. I did a lot, like, a lot of stuff with two legs, but I kind of, in a sense, feel like I took a lot of that for granted. I would say, look at what you want to do, what you want to experience in life, because we're not getting any younger. We're getting older. And the older, the older you get, it's going to be harder for you to do certain things. And like for me, I wish I ended up scuba diving a lot earlier in my life, like in my 20s, and I didn't, you know. Or I mean, my early 20s, and I didn't. I didn't think I got into it until like I was like uh, 29, 30, something like that. So, yeah. Hey, unusual things. How you doing? But I would say, what do you got to lose? Yeah, there's some of the stuff is risky. Yeah, you can die. Anything could kill you. You could cross the street, get hit by a bus. But go out, make the best of your life. If I died, what would people talk about me? Well, he helped a lot of people. Through search and rescue, through the fire department. He served his the people in his state. Working with the government. But I wouldn't be in those positions to help those people who really need help. A lot of people would have not gotten closure by getting their lost family member back if it weren't for people like me stepping up to the challenge and helping. So you never know. You'll never know that you're going to have those experiences unless you step up and it just happens. So what do you got to lose? Get out there, put yourself out there, and make the best of your life. Where you can sit back and have war stories with your friends. So,
Awesome.
I mean, I don't. I'm trying to figure out how to answer that. So,
No, that's really good, guys. Like Corey says, don't sit around and feel sorry for yourself.
yeah.
Stretch that a bit further,
Mhm.
and you can achieve things like Corey's achieving. Cool. No more questions, anybody? No, it's been mega quiet, Corey. It's probably Saturday
Yeah. So
night.
what's the next live stream we're gonna do, Lee? What's the topic?
Uh, I think I'm going to do top 10 tips for beginners scuba diving. Top 10 tips for scuba diving beginners.
That'd be good because you've been helping a lot of students. So this would be kind of cool. Get your perspective on it.
Cool. So I think I'll do
Well,
top 10 tips for beginner scuba divers.
what we should do is maybe bring on some people who've done a little bit of diving and say, what did you think your first year diving, and then what do you think now? Like, what would you have done differently? That might be kind of a cool thing too. What would you have done differently your first year diving after that should, go along with your top 10 tips after, so be a good topic. But I also like the reaction videos. I kind of want to do some more of those reaction videos too.
Yeah, they're cool, aren't they?
Yeah. Those were pretty fun too. So yeah.
I don't know.
Cool.
We'll mix it up. We'll perhaps come back in a week and do another live in a week or two.
Yeah.
Definitely. And we'll see how you're getting on with. If you don't already know, I know we've said it already, guys. Corey's got a mega good challenge going on. For every one subscriber Corey gets, he's going to remove a piece of trash from the waterway system, lake, river, or ocean. So, guys, in a minute, when this live's finished, the link will be in the description. Head over there or on YouTube. Paul or Claire. Corey, can you drop your link in the description?
Give me 1 second. Let me pull it up real quick.
Can you drop your link in the chat for your channel?
Yeah, give me 1 second. I'll find it real quick.
If someone can find it.
I got it. Let me just grab it right here.
So anybody who's watching this on a rerun or a playthrough, There's Cooper's Amputee Lifestyles link.
I hope that is working.
I don't know. That's gone.
Maybe let me just get a video real quick, and I'll just.
I think that's it. But please, guys, head over, show Corey your support. Leave him a message in a comment. Watch one of his videos and say, "Hey, Corey, this is Harry or whoever you are, Paul, Maria, or anyone."
Yeah, I try to make as much time as I can to try to answer people. But yeah, I mean, say something stands out, and then let me get with you and chat. And I'm trying to be. It's hard to answer everybody, but I try to try to answer everybody as I can. I get people messaging me every day, so I try to answer as much as I can. So don't feel like you're being ignored if I don't get to you. I try to answer everybody. So
yeah,
but I get messages every
day. You're helping the ocean. You're helping the environment just by hitting that subscribe to Corey. He's going to go out and remove a piece of trash. Which is
now the sun is coming out and the wind is dying down, so I'm thinking about going to the lake now. So we'll see if I get out there, because now the sun is out and the wind is dying down. So
how many pieces of trash have you got to remove, Corey? How many subscribers?
I think I pulled out like 70 something, but I owe like 40 more pieces of trash, and I figured that'd be perfect, because that would be a half a tank that I can burn up, sit in the back of the truck that I can just burn up real quick.
And you're making videos, yeah? You're making videos of this as of proof.
Yeah, I'm recording stuff. I've just been doing a lot of shorts lately, because I've been spending a lot of time. I've been spending a lot of time searching and stuff, and I've been getting really tired coming home from work. Just emotionally drained, physically drained, and so I haven't been doing a lot of editing, but I've been just doing a lot of shorts, and I will be doing a long form video to update on the trash I'm pulling. And I will be doing a long form video on the searching that I'm doing. And then once I go meet up in the spring with Chaos Divers and Depths of History, I'll be doing some long form videos on the searching we're doing out there. So, yeah. So thanks. I can't wait to come back out to Northern Ireland. Leslie's going to join me. So we're going to go out there, do a little bit of diving, a little bit of treasure hunting. See some of the sights, get some of the great food, probably not drink as much since she'll be there. So I'll have to kind of behave myself a little more. Yeah. Right. So
we'll have to be mature now, Corey.
Yeah. Well, we can go to Belfast and just do like the same thing we did in Belfast. Yep. And try not to get arrested. So yeah, because I already tell you that the people at the airport already don't like me. So yeah, it was. I don't know if I told you when I got into what was that airport? Belfast or whatever, and they're asking me questions, and I'm just like, nope, yep, nope, yep, and they're like, who's the person's name? I don't remember. Where they live, I don't remember. Where are you from? I'm from America. Why are you here? Just feel like traveling here. They already don't like me, so we'll see if I can make it there without getting detained. And so, yeah.
Yeah, Colin, check his channel out. You'll see some mega inspirational things on there. Can't thank you enough, guys. Corey, always a pleasure. It's been awesome, mate. And I hope people watching this have been inspired, like I am, always will be. Right. Any final words, Corey?
That's it. Colin, thank you for popping in. Wish you the best of luck, mate. Have a Guinness for me, and hope everything goes well. And pop me a message. If you have any questions or whatever. But I'll tell you. We can chat, figure out what you want to do and stuff like that, to kind of give you some. I get all I have is advice. That's it. My experience is my advice. That's it. But hopefully it helps, especially since you're a fairly new amputee. So
cool.
And thank you everybody for popping in. I appreciate you. I appreciate you guys all for popping in, giving us, watching us and stuff. So I know we've been on here for an hour and a half. So apologize, it took a little long. So
Cool.
thank you.
Appreciate you. Thanks for joining us on a Saturday evening. Can't thank you enough. Guys, stay tuned, and we shall see you on the next one.
Yep.
I don't know how to end. I always get
doing
this
your thing.
Yeah, I know, Corey. Keep there. Just keep smiling.
I'm doing Lee's thing. It does the thumbs up.